Check it up, son. Check it out now. All right. Now, if you guys don't know, I got a little show that come on every day. Oh, daily show. Okay. Me, Complex, we hooked it up, and I'm with an old bitter-ass nigga. His name's Joe Budden. Okay. We do a daily show every day, and usually he's shouting, screaming, because he's definitely bipolar and a little bit schizophrenic, but we had a guest on yesterday. Great guest. Lil Yachty. Our first guest ever. Now, while people have dissected and got a lot of gifable and memeable moments, there was some dialogue that was had, okay? When asked about if he was making the best music out of his peers, he said, listen, fuck that. I do the best business. Now, that's a bold statement, okay? Now, that's a statement I could actually agree with, though. Yachty been in Sprite commercials, Target commercials. He was just in an MTV commercial. He's all over the motherfucking place, okay? It would seem, and by the way, he's a creative director at Nautica, so it would seem that his reach is beyond music, and we all know that a lot of times the money is outside of music, right? Most of these niggas, they make their money off of touring or other ventures. Rick Ross got to come up off Wingstop, okay? So, with that in mind, right, when he was asked, like, yo, are you in a 360 deal? So, let me explain. What's the 360, number one? And number two, Yachty's situation as we know it, right? A 360 deal, right? Leo Cohen and niggas like that, they pioneered these executive dudes because they realized once people stop buying music and now the game is at a level where popularity is surpassing even talent. So once you're popular, you could get rich. Don't even fucking matter, right? Not only that, usually your popularity could be leveraged outside of what you got popular for. So if you got popular off being able to sing or rap, you could use that popularity to sell sneakers, sell other merch. You could also go on tour. You could also use that to leverage it in many different ways to get money, okay? Now, the labels started to get salty. They're like, why are we getting all these Negroes popular? They're not making much money in music, but they're making a lot of money off touring, off selling fucking like t-shirts, off doing everything else but just selling music. So the labels and a couple guys at the labels say, you know what? Let's do this. Let's start treating it like we're a partner, okay? We're a partner in your brand because without us making you popular, you ain't motherfucking selling all these other things and going on tour. So why don't we get no money off of that, right? So this is where the 360 deal came into play, right? 360 mean a full circle, right? So basically, no matter what money you make off of your popularity, they will get a piece of the fucking pie, okay? Now, the reason why that was brought up in relation to Yachty is because Yachty's had so much other opportunities outside of music that perhaps if he was in a 360, it would be beneficial for the label to get him in these positions. But not only that, the label's eating off all these things, so they're cool with it, right? Now, he seemingly did not know what we were talking about. He said 360? What? He's like, I don't know, right? Now, what's Yachty's situation? We know Yachty's down with QC, the label. Salute to Coach K. I met him, the great guys, right? But he signed to QC, right? And then QC has a joint venture with Capitol Records. Now, let's also be clear. His manager, right, so his personal manager is, of course, Coach K. So it's like a lot of hands dipped in the pot, seemingly, right? So your manager also owns the label that you're signed to, right? And everything else with regards to your money is probably flowing through that, right? And also then Capitol Records come into the mix. So perhaps there might be a 360 already, and also you're paying him as manager, right? Now, the 360 deal could exist between him and QC or him and Capitol Records. Now, finally, Yachty got on Twitter, and I hope you guys have been keeping up and you understand what I'm saying with the 360 deal, and he explained a little bit what he meant when he gave his answer that he didn't know if he was in a 360 deal. He said this, y'all gotta understand, just because I didn't know the term name 360 deal doesn't mean I don't know what kind of deal I have. I only wasn't aware of the term 360 deal. I own all my publishing and I've recouped my deal. So for those so pressed, chill, I'm good. Now, he didn't really answer the question. And now after the fact, because in the moment when he told me directly to my face, I was like, I think he really don't know. Now I'm actually thinking, I think he just doesn't want to say. Okay? Now, either he doesn't want to say, or he's still fucking clueless, right? Because if you hear what he's saying in terms of his deal, a 360 deal, as I just explained it, doesn't mean that you don't own all your publishing, right? Or you didn't recoup on your deal, because the 360 branches outside music, right? So if he has, like, I'm gonna sell Little Boat t-shirts, the company or the record company would get a piece of that, right? So him recouping on his deal and owning all his publishing doesn't mean he's not in a 360 deal, right? And because of that, I think perhaps he may have been smarter than we think he is by just avoiding the question by playing dumb, or perhaps he still doesn't get it. But if we hear what he said in the beginning, when I told y'all he said he does the best business, I don't have any reason to not believe him. Okay? We will see. I do believe he's in great hands. I met the people up at QC, the label, and they all fuck with us over here. They watch the channel. You get me? And, of course, you know we cover a lot of their artists, Migos and all that. However, I mean, that's their business dealings, okay? I don't be knowing what niggas he doing, so we will see. And for Yachty's case, he might want to hit up his lawyer and kind of really find out and make sure he knows the ins and outs of his deal, all right? Get in the comment box, make sure you guys like them and subscribe. Do you think Yachty's in a 360 deal, right? Like, you could imagine, right? Most of these record labels nowadays, they only want to sign 360. You got to come to them with, like, a hit and be already flaming hot for them to say, we'll do, like, a distribution or something like that. That's how QC supposedly leverage Capitol Records. But if you're just an artist, they want a 360 because they want a piece of the pie. Get in the comment box, we'll check Akademiks.